Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to be introducing Dr. Thomas Nail. He is the University of Denver's Distinguished Scholar and Professor of Philosophy. He's written multiple books, including The Figure of the Migrant, Theory of the Border, Marx in Motion, Theory of the Image, Theory of the Object, and he specializes in critical theory, European philosophy, new materialism, political philosophy, and philosophy of movement. Without any other further ado, let me ask a little bit more here about your scholarship, and can you talk more about the very contemporary and current areas of interest you're working with?
Yeah, in addition to working on European philosophy and sort of history, science, political philosophy, the two projects I'm working on now are on world mythologies and history of consciousness.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Can you talk just a little bit more about that history of consciousness?
Yeah, it's sort of a new take on the history of consciousness from the perspective of pink noise,
Oh, wow.
which is a specific distribution of yeah, brain activity. For a long time, neuroscientists have thought the vast majority of brain activity is random. And in just the last 20 years, lots of studies have come out showing that that's not the case. Um, and it'll take me too long to explain the whole thing, but that's the basic idea, is that brain activity is not random
Wow.
at all, and it has a very particular structure that traverses, yeah, the history of evolution, biology, psychology, stuff. There's a chapter on artificial intelligence, things like that.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool, actually, because I've never heard of that. Um, but it ties in really well
Yeah,
here about kind of the interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary nature of the Joint PhD program that you teach classes a part of. So you want to talk about kind of more of like what those terms mean for you and your scholarship, and how you teach?
yeah, yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not much. I mean, I try to be as undisciplined as I can, and just try to ask good questions and read whatever it takes to find answers, which is usually not from one discipline. So yeah, I guess that's my approach. Try to ask good questions and get lots of different kinds of answers, instead of just staying in one discipline.
Yeah, I think that's really important too. And as part of that, as well, how do you see current JDP students like implementing these kind of multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary ideas?
Yeah, one thing I like about the JDP students is that they often come in with really good questions, and they have background in more than one area. And they also tend to be pretty heterodox in their approach to whatever those areas are.
Mm.
And so I like that. It keeps things interesting. And I find that the students are sort of open to thinking about things from more than one disciplinary standpoint. So I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, thanks for answering that. And then overall about the JDP as a whole program, what is your favorite part about it and being a part of it?
I Yeah, I mean, I think it's the students, honestly. I mean, that's my main way of engaging, is just is getting to engage with the students and helping them with their research projects, which I often find interesting and rewarding, and I learn a lot from what they're studying, specifically in, yeah, fields of religion and usually political theory. I've learned a lot from JDP students over the years.
Nice. Yeah. Um, Kind of switching gears here from the JDP to your personal life. What's, kind of like your favorite book or movie, TV show, any of all of them?
Yeah, well, it's hard to pick one, but I did spend almost 10 years reading this one book, so I feel pretty attached to it.
Yeah.
It's called De Rerum Natura, The Nature of Things, by the Roman poet Lucretius. Yeah, I spent a long time reading it, studying the Latin and writing 3 books on that book. So just taking my time reading the text and kind of writing about it as I went.
Would you say that you're pretty well versed in Latin then?
I wouldn't say well versed. I would just say competent enough to translate the stuff that I think is important in the text. But it's just a book. If you've got a good English translation, and I can recommend one, is is just really kind of endlessly rewarding to read at like every level. I mean, it just has discussion about everything from like poetry and science and ontology and ethics and everything. It's got everything in it. So it's a good book to reread.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And then what hobbies do you enjoy doing in your free time?
Gardening, you know, when it's the season, cooking, hiking, botany. You just learning everything about, you know, nature. Obviously not a professional, but you know, kinds of birds, plants, moss, everything.
Yeah, you have a favorite thing to cook?
Oh wow, favorite thing to cook. I don't know. I just when it's in season, just anything out of the garden, just making whatever I can out of the garden and eat that.
Nice.
It's not very like I'm not like a chef in that sense, but just I really like to eat and cook the food that's really fresh and you know experiment with what's available at any given time is always kind of a challenge and kind of forces you to be creative.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you grow your own food then with all of that?
Yeah, as much as I can. Yeah,
Wow, that's really exciting. It's pretty cool. But again, yeah, thank you so much
thanks.
for your time and for sitting down and talking with us here. And again, this was Dr. Thomas Nail, who is the Distinguished Scholar and Professor of Philosophy at the University of Denver, and he teaches with the Joint PhD program in the study of religion. Thanks so much.